Broadcasting live. It's Cream Pie Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And now for your hosts, give it up for Josh and Rick.
Oh, yeah.
Let's pop off, Daddy.
Oh, welcome to another episode, everybody. We're back. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon. I'm chilling. My buddy Rick is right here next to me in person. We're doing this all in person now, in case you couldn't tell. Fist bump, my friend. Boom.
Bang.
See? It's all real. It's all real. Everything that you see on the internet is real. There's no reason to ask any questions about anything ever. Sound very official today.
Yeah, we used to practice that virtual knuckle bump quite a bit. We put in the time, and it just never worked out. So I'm glad that we were able to pull it off.
Yeah. I'm actually going to leave now and then fly back to North Carolina, and we'll finish the podcast there. Just had to do it for the knuckles. But
we will have the actual like in-person GoPro pod in September, which will be cool. That'll be September 22nd, whatever that one is.
Yeah,
that
dude.
one will be out.
Are we going to do that the morning of your bachelor party, or like what are we doing that? Because it's for the bachelor
I think
party.
we should do that like Sunday morning at like 6 a.m, or just like whenever we wake up, just like go out by the fire pit, just set up the GoPros, just ramble on for an hour. I'll steal the audio, and then we'll just do it that way.
Probably still be hammered, just reeking of cigars and fucking fire smoke and booze. Couple garbage bags just sitting out there. Fucking, woo, baby, that's gonna be a good pod. I'm pumped, man. I'm getting eaten by a fucking bear halfway through. It'll be like that that bear documentary where that guy gets mauled. Oh man.
Yeah. What was that called? That was called.
Yeah. What was that called? The man
was it Grizzly Man?
Grizzly Man. Yes.
Grizzly Man.
Yeah.
That was like disturbing, dude. Yeah. Because he's just like, you know, the ending of the movie before you even start it, and you're like, man, when's it gonna happen? It's just an hour and a half of just like,
Yeah.
The bear's just like,
Speaking of,
I want you.
Did you ever watch the Cocaine Bear movie or no?
No.
Don't bother. It was garbage. It was fucking terrible. I mean, I could have predicted that. Yeah. Dude, I was watching our shorts, and I just want to get this out of the way early. I watched that one where I'm talking about people in wheelchairs in the movie theater. And listen, sometimes I sound like a dick. I don't have any problem with anybody in a wheelchair. And I understand, like, if you chop it up like that and you just listen to that, I'm trying to be funny. I just make observations and try and say something funny about them. So don't take anything that we say seriously, you know. And I also want to say, I just want to point out that I am an ally. I'm an ally for all marginalized groups. You know, I'm a big ally for everything. I identify as a Z-zer, first of all.
Ally.
You know, my pronouns are Z-zer. So there's that. I do think that Trump is Satan.
Ally.
I think he's the worst creature to ever exist.
Yes.
You know, gender is a construct.
Yes.
Elon Musk is a fascist.
Comrade.
And Twitter is evil now.
Yes.
Even if he changes it to X, it's still evil.
Comrade.
Jason Aldean making a song about how burning down cities and looting is wrong is inherently racist. So if you have a problem with looting, obviously you're a racist. Totally makes sense. I've been vaccinated 9 times because I trust Big Pharma, and they've never done anything wrong. So it's good to trust Big Pharma.
Yes.
And Biden is completely coherent, and his economy is the strongest it's ever been. So I just want to get that out of the way for everybody right off the bat. So thank you. Thank you for giving me the time to apologize.
That makes me want to go take a shit on my own front door. Damn it. Can we just have that disclaimer every fucking episode? Oh, no, we're at the 4-minute mark. Yeah, dude, we'll just play that. For a while there, we did have a disclaimer at the 5-minute mark. Where it was like, oh, we will now be swearing, we'll now be doing this. But yeah, we put in disclaimers every now and then of, we don't really believe this, or this, we're just having fun. But if you see 10 minutes of this podcast, you know what you're getting into, dude. It's just dumb, like no thought comments.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody's off limits either, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. People in wheelchairs.
Canceled.
Just take it all back. Clearly that's a joke. Yeah. I mean, take it as you will, creamers. I don't mean anything I say. Yeah.
When do you think like wheelchairs will be controlled by the mind and they'll just become like animatronic people where like their lower body just moves off their thoughts?
Yeah.
And they don't actually have to like push themselves around.
Like it becomes an advantage, like to be in a wheelchair because you can drive like 65 miles an hour with your mind. And you're
Yeah,
like,
it'd be the same thing where like you lose a leg in war and they come back and they give you a titanium one. It's like, wow, this is pretty sweet, dude.
if you could do that, like let's say that you can remove all your limbs and replace them with like robot limbs, but you can still feel with them and everything, would you do it?
If I needed to. I mean, what was it? iRobot, where Will Smith had his hand replaced
Yeah.
by like robot parts and that was like against his will. It's kind of like the same kind of deal there.
Right. But if you could still feel, like you still had like the feeling of the nerves and everything, but the rest was just robot.
I wouldn't mind that. I mean, to me, that's no different than having a fake hip or a fake femur or, you know.
Right. But you can like punch through walls and shit.
Yeah. I don't know. At some point, it's, yeah, there's just going to be dudes just full of metal. They're going to be like human Wolverines.
Yeah. That's it. I always thought that was so cool about Wolverine because they dipped his bones in adamantium.
Yeah.
And so he's basically indestructible, but he weighs like 700 pounds. Because they mention it a few times. He's like really, really heavy, but that's just because his bones are so heavy, you know? So it must be weird.
Those Wolverine movies are so badass. Like the first like X-Men that came out like 20 years ago now, probably longer than that.
Yeah, I think it was like 01 or something.
Every rendition of Wolverine, there's been like 12 movies that he's appeared in, but
yeah,
even Logan, I was a big fan of Logan. I thought that was really cool.
It was a little. I had one problem with Logan just because Wolverine's one of my favorite superheroes, and I do like the X-Men and shit. You know, I watched the first one when I was a kid, so I always was a big fan of X-Men, especially Wolverine. And just the way he fucking they take him out at the end seems kind of lame to me. Like he should have like chopped off like 50 people's heads and like died in like a nuclear explosion. It's Wolverine for fuck's sake, but he like falls on a log. That's how they take him out. It's like, what the hell?
The whole immortality thing, because it was the one where the whole movie took place in Japan, and it was like the guy trying to steal his immortality or something like that. It was real weird.
Yeah.
But at the beginning of the movie, he was standing over like a well, and he was like protecting some guy from like a nuclear blast. And then once like it was done, he kind of stood up and he was all charred and shit.
Yeah.
And he's just like immortal. It was just so cool. And it's like, that's the only good part about that whole movie was just that opening scene of him saving that guy down in the bunker or whatever it was.
Was that Logan too? Or was that Wolverine?
No, that was, it was one of the one of the Wolverine movies, but it was some like 90-year-old guy in like Japan or something.
Right.
Called him over and just trying to steal his secrets.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Wolverine was a badass, man. I love those. I always wanted to be Wolverine. You know, the one thing that doesn't make sense though is you look at like the forearm, right? And sometimes in movies, like his claws will be like longer than his hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But okay, so let's say the claws are in his forearm, right? Like this, and they could be the length of his forearm, sure. But then when they shoot out, he can still bend his wrist. So like, do they? You know
Canceled.
What I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, because if he's bending his things, shouldn't like the stick through like the top of his hand?
Yeah,
and then he's just got like, I don't know.
Yeah, and the only reason he can do it is because he heals. So they come out and he heals. Because if he was a normal person, it would just bleed to death every time they came out.
Yeah.
So they kind of heals around the claws, which is kind of cool. And then they ask him like, "Does it hurt when they come out?" And he's like, "Every time." You know? Yeah. Badass.
I had I think both on Sega and Game Boy Color, I had like the X-Men fighting video game or whatever. It wasn't like one-on-one fighting, but like you had to, it was just a side scroller and you beat up, I don't even know the bad guys in X-Men, the other bad X-Men or whatever.
Right.
The other bad mutants, but yeah, that was pretty cool. Some of those old school like 90s arcade style games are like so sweet, dude.
Yes.
Like the old school Spider-Man games where all you do is scale buildings and shoot webs.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, you can't even go down to the street level. It's just like you're above the clouds entirely. They don't show the street. Yeah. And that PS2 game, the first like 3D Spider-Man game was kind of like open world-ish with the compass on the bottom. Yeah, that was the shit. That was the shit. I remember that.
I had I think it was just called Spider-Man, but it was for the PlayStation 1. You ended up fighting Venom and some dude who had like a rhino horn on his head.
I think that's the one I'm thinking of. The PlayStation.
The PlayStation 1?
Yeah, I meant PlayStation 1. Yeah.
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 That's where you'd fly over the buildings and like you're over the clouds, and if you fall you die.
Right.
Yeah.
And then one of the bad guys was like this pink blob. And they would have like little tiny pink blobs you'd have to shoot.
Yeah.
Or something. Speaking of movies though, by the way, we were talking about movies. I saw The Sound of Freedom last night. Have you seen anything about this?
The Sound of Freedom, never heard of her. What is it?
It's it's a very controversial movie. But it's done really well. It's got great reviews. It's doing well in the box office. I think it made like $100 million or something. But certain characters are endorsing it, like Mel Gibson and stuff. There's a little bit of a Christian theme to it, not too crazy. But it's basically it's based on a true story, right? Of child sex trafficking. And it's like harrowing, dude. It's hard to watch in a few scenes. And I mean, obviously they took liberties, you know, like it's based on a true story. But there's a real guy that did this and he saved hundreds of kids from child sex trafficking. Few things about it. So the reason why it's getting a lot of hate is because, you know how you go on Facebook and you got like an aunt or something that believes in Pizzagate and everybody's a pedophile and, you know, Hillary Clinton drinks baby blood and shit. The QAnon shit.
Yeah, I know one of those, yep.
Yeah, everybody knows one, right? So they think that this movie is going to stoke the flames for crazy child pedophile. Can we even... It's crazy you can't say pedophile. I might have to crow that out. But they think it's going to stoke the flames for shit like that. So that's why it's getting a lot of hate. But it's based on a true story, and it exposes a lot, right? Which is, if you can't make a story that's based on a true story, then what do you do? Also, the main character is kind of unlikable. He's very one-dimensional. He did okay, but you know, that's just a movie thing. All in all, it wasn't a great movie, but it was crazy because they exposed a lot of shit. At the very end, they tell you like how many kids, and they use real footage of kids getting kidnapped and shit. It's kind of crazy. And at the very end, they basically say there are more people in slavery now than ever in history, even when slavery was legal. You know what I mean? And millions of them are child slaves. Am I going too far down a dark rabbit hole right now? But
keep it going, dude.
Okay.
I've never heard of this, so I had no idea about any of this.
Sound of Freedom.
I knew about sex trafficking or whatever, but I didn't know.
So at the end they say millions of these slaves are children, you know, and then that's the very end of the movie. And dude, I teared up a couple times. It's like a couple scenes are just Jesus Christ. I couldn't even like watch, you know. It's tough to watch, but and then so they show that on the screen, right? And then they show like the actor, and then they show the real guy, and they look very similar. But I just remember seeing that millions of kids are in sex slavery at the very end, and the whole audience starts applauding because they're like, you know, for the movie. They're like, yeah. But then I just thought of the irony of that. Like, we all paid $15 for you to tell us that millions of kids are in sex slavery, and like we're all like applauding. That was like what came on the screen, and everyone started clapping. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like shit.
Yeah, but if people don't know, man, I mean, you gotta find things out somehow, and sometimes it's what it is. I mean, a lot of
it felt like a weird thing to applaud for. I know you're applauding the movie and not the fact that exists, but I feel like everybody should have had their head down and felt sick to their stomach when they left, and instead they're like, "Yeah, that was a good movie." It's like, it just exposed that millions of kids are sex slaves. Like, you guys are pumped about this? Like, what did we do to contribute? We sat in a fucking shitty movie theater for 2 hours. Like, do you know what I mean? It felt weird.
Yeah, there wasn't anything in there where it was like, go to this website, donate here, do this to help in your community, none of that crap.
There was like a message after the credits, but we didn't stay for it. So I don't know what the message was, but maybe. But yeah, odd, right?
It's weird that on Barbenheimer weekend you didn't see either of those movies and you went and saw something about sex trafficking.
Well, dude,
Freak.
if these wheelies would stop taking my spot, I'd try. I've been trying to see Oppenheimer for a week and a half. It's sold out in all the good movie theaters. I don't want to go to like some dingy movie theater and see it. I want to see it in IMAX, you know? So
this would be a good skit if like you and me went to a movie theater and I'm pushing you in a wheelchair and I'm like, yeah, 2 tickets for Barbie, please. And then give us it to us and you go, my foot hurts. It's just like, you just look up at him. My foot hurts. Good for you.
my foot
And I'll
hurts.
wheel your ass in and we're smack dab in the middle of it, baby.
Yeah,
there
right
we
there.
go.
Hell yeah. That's my handler seat, actually. He's my handler. Dude,
I could be like a little monkey. I'll wear like a red hat with like a little yellow string off it and I'll dance around like a monkey.
yeah. Monkey, I need to change my diaper. You change my diaper.
And I'll make the noises and I'll run like I'm fucking, there's something really wrong with me. I mean, there kind of is. But.
Yeah. I think this guy should be in a wheelchair. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh. And then that's when I like shit in my hand and I'm just like whip it across the theater. And it's like 8 people in the front row, just like, but it's okay because I'm the help support monkey.
Absolutely. They turn around pissed off. They see the helmet. And they're like, oh, sorry.
The helmet's got like a bunch of little yellow tassels off of it.
Yeah.
I'll be good.
See, that's what I'm saying. Dude, I wouldn't have to get up to piss. I could like either be cathetered up or have a diaper. You know, don't have to worry about missing Oppenheimer at all. You know, it's a good plan. I think it's solid.
Imagine you were sitting in a movie theater and then all of a sudden you heard like the sound of somebody pissing into like a Gatorade bottle. And it's just like you hear the and everybody's like looking around and you just hear a he's just like pissing in a bottle.
Dude, I sat next to one of my good friends. I'll say his name, I'll just bleep it. In the front row at Regal Cinemas in Concord, the same one we got kicked out of for Wolfman.
Yeah.
Remember that shitty movie theater with the plastic seats and like it's just like a slant. It's not even like they're staggered. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that place is closed now. Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it probably, yeah. I mean, come on. The place wasn't that great. But he had to piss. And so he chugged a water bottle and we were in the front row and he pissed into it. Filled it all the way up to the brim. And then he's like, I just need to take a little off the top. I'm like, there's no way that was all your piss. But then he just tied it off and like put it on the ground and it rolled to the front of the fucking movie theater.
And the top just pops off and it's just like glugging out of the side of the thing. And it's like making a puddle. It gets up over to like a couple like wires laying on the ground. The screen catches on fire and he's just like trying to get his zipper up like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, he fucking pants around his ankles. He falls down in the emergency exit.
Oh, man.
Oh,
you could use
man.
a help support monkey in that situation for sure.
Absolutely. It's so funny, the stupid shit that you do. You know, like I would never piss in a water bottle in the movie theater now, but I could see when I was like 20, absolutely, I would have done something like that.
Yeah.
You know? It's fucking dumb.
I was like borderline going to piss in a bottle like this weekend driving to my parents' house.
Yeah.
I was like looking at the clock and doing the math. I'm like, all right, well, I'll be there in like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like all ready to go. I had the bottle empty. I was like, all right, let's do it. I'm not even going to pull over. I'm just going to do it as I'm driving.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I was like, in reality, I don't really have to go that bad.
Yeah.
And I think it was more or less like I just wanted to do it and not that I had needed to do it. So I just canceled plans and just made it home and pissed in the front yard instead.
There you go. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I've done a few trucker bombs in my day. Sometimes, dude, you don't got a choice. I mean, these sales job, like even in New England when I was doing sales out there, like sometimes you don't pass like a gas station for like 30, 40 minutes, especially in the middle of nowhere out here, you know, go down these back roads, fucking 20 miles each. It's like, I don't want to like pull over and piss in the woods because then I get eaten by a fucking grizzly bear or get ripped by a hillbilly. Yeah. Oh,
so,
dude.
So what?
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so the movie theater in Concord is gone.
Yep.
The mall, I was just at my parents' house this weekend. That my mom told me that the mall is closed completely.
Okay.
You can't go through the center of the mall, but there's like the zoo, there's like the health club. As long as they have like an exterior exit, you can still go. Like that's open. There's like a trampoline park is open. There's
Okay.
like 5 businesses that are open,
Yeah.
but you can't actually walk through the mall anymore, which kind of sucks because I would have loved to like go in there and like film something when nobody's there because I thought that would have been really cool, but I missed that window.
You could break in.
I could. I bet nobody would catch me either unless they see me, and then I'm fucked.
I don't understand. Like, I guess I do. There's not a lot of people around there. It's just crazy that Concord can't seem to like get it right in New Hampshire. You know, like, I guess there's a few successful restaurants, pretty much, but there's like the ones that people go to. But as far as the mall, like, why couldn't the mall stay in business? Like, there's not enough people that go shopping around there. You know?
I think that was kind of like around the United States, though. A lot that happened to a lot of malls where like a lot of them are just deserted now, and
right.
it's like apocalyptic zombie, you know, like
So-
plant like grass growing through the floor kind of deal.
It was probably like one of those things where they could barely stay afloat prior to buying shit online, and now that just, you know, it's unsalvageable because there really aren't enough people. I mean, if that was the only place you could go to buy shit, then sure. But now that everybody buys shit from Amazon, who the fuck goes to the Steeplegate Mall? You know, nobody.
Well, it's weird too to like think about like the heyday because I remember going to the mall when it was like busy.
Yeah.
And like every store is there.
Yeah.
There's GameStop on one end. There's Hot Topic. There's Abercrombie and Fitch. There's the food court. Everything. There's so many people. You have to like stagger between people just to walk.
Yeah.
And then like a year later, there's like J.C. Penney opened, and that's it.
Well, let me
It's like,
ask you
what the hell
this.
happened, dude?
When we were in high school, there was still like a little bit of a mall culture, you know, like as far as not like in the 80s and 90s, but we still had like lingering mall culture. Do kids go to malls anymore? Is it like a thing that kids go and hang out at the mall anymore? Is that like a thing?
Unless they go to like the Mall of Manchester, like Mall of New Hampshire kind of deal. But I
Even
mean,
then, is it like it used to be though? Is it like they hang out all day at the mall? You know, like the movie Mallrats. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, I remember back in the day, me and Buck used to go to the mall and just sit around, and we'd
Yeah.
sit in the food court and just like shoot the shit. Like we'd buy drinks and just like sit around and talk. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's just weird because people in their teen, like everybody younger than us, doesn't get to experience that. Like it's
Right. It's kind of sad.
like that aspect might never come back again. Well, I mean, there are malls still.
Yeah.
Like there is the average mall culture, but
Right.
yeah, at least the Concord, like my mom was telling me, she's like, if you go through the parking lot, be careful because there's huge potholes, and they just didn't give a
God.
shit about it. They just let it go to hell, dude.
Yeah, that fucking blows.
But she was saying there was some guy that bought the land for the mall, and his intention was to turn it into a casino, like build a casino.
Oh my God. Could you imagine?
And they shot it down, and he's like, all right, well, I'm not going to do shit.
Oh,
And like they called his bluff, and he just let it go to hell, and now it's just like a freaking standing. I don't even know the right word for it.
yeah, it is kind of weird. Like, so there was this pharmacy at the Epsom traffic circle forever. It was called Care Pharmacy. It was like a privately owned pharmacy, I think. It wasn't like a CVS or anything. And they knocked that bitch down and built a giant liquor store, which is convenient, I guess, for the people that live in Epsom. But it kind of sucks going back home now and seeing this giant liquor store in like the center of the town you grew up in. You know?
Yeah.
It's like that used to be a pharmacy, like a privately owned little pharmacy. It was nice. And now it's this giant booze center for
I
everybody.
bought
to
my
fucking-
first box of rubbers at that store, actually.
Really?
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing that will ever connect me to that store is that story. So thought I'd just bring it up for the creamers.
That's great. I don't remember where I bought my first box of rubbers. I have no idea. Rubbers.
But
Who
I
needs
say
them?
I save them all.
Yeah, good. You have to save them, dude.
Yeah. I had to get like an external freezer, like just to keep them all cool.
Oh, gross. Hell yeah.
Like what is it, Butters from South Park? He's got his whole closet full of his
Yeah.
night ejaculations.
This has come. Yeah.
What was it, Butters mystery goo, magic
Yeah.
goo, something like that?
Something like that. Yeah. I was thinking the other day, dude, if you were gonna, if let's say if you have to die a gruesome death, right?
Okay.
It has to be gruesome. Like, yeah, you know, but you get to pick it. What would you go with? Would you go with like decapitation? Would you go with like mauled by a big cat, fall off a cliff, train wreck? Like, what are you picking?
I think if they shoot you out of a cannon or like to drop you from a high height into like a wood chipper, I think that would be the way to go. But the question is like, do you go head first and get it over with, or do you like shoot down with your feet and then have it? Because eventually, if it's eating from your feet up, at what point does it reach your body before you die? Like, do you get up to like your chest before you're just like, you know?
Probably. Well, here's the thing though. If you don't go in head first, you go in feet first. I like how you say like drop into a wood chipper from a height too. It's not just fall into a wood chipper. It's like it's like a double. So
you
like,
just like fall into it and you're like, ow, ow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to think like, so it doesn't take 1 second to die. It takes 10. Is it really worth those 9 seconds of life? You know, to be in that kind of agony, watching your body get destroyed from the toes up slowly.
Yeah, but what if you're talking with God and God's like, all right, here's you and 5 people.
Yeah.
Whoever has the most gruesome death gets to stay with me forever. And it's like, all right, well, if I'm going to die regardless,
Yeah.
shoot me out of a cannon into a wood chipper, start at my feet. So then by the time it's up to my tits, I'm like still somewhat coherent. No, I bet it would probably get up to your like stomach or torso. And then you'd probably die because the
blood
you'd have
loss.
so much blood loss.
Yeah. Yeah, you bleed out probably. For sure.
It really just depends on how fastly it like progresses up your body.
You ever think about those people that get in like car wrecks and the car is like on top of them and they're like, listen, you're alive, but when we move this car, you're going to die. You ever heard of those things?
Yeah, that was in like Scary Movie 5 or something with Charlie Sheen's wife. She was like pinned against a tree.
I didn't know that.
She's like pinned against a tree and he like wanted to bang her one last time. The cop wouldn't let him.
Oh, I think actually I do remember that. But yeah, that happens in real life, dude. So if you're in that position, they're like, call your family, like, hey, come to this highway. You know, daddy's like trapped under a 16-wheeler. Once we move it, he's toast. But it's holding his organs in his body so you can talk to him for a few minutes. Like that's a weird, this is so dark, by the way. But it's a weird situation. You know,
I feel like that wouldn't happen as often. I think a majority of the time they would step up and be like, all right, well, we got to get him out of here to save him.
Yeah. Unless it's imminent.
I don't know.
Unless they know like that, yeah, your lungs are going to fall out the second we lift this up. You know
Well,
what
it's also not like he's just sitting there just like fine, like, oh yeah, no, you can take your time. I'll be here for the next 2 hours. It's like, no, you're bleeding out.
I mean? Yeah.
Your pelvis is like the width of a business card. Like you're just
Yeah.
you're screwed, dude.
Your lower body is the width of a business card.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh, that's horrible. I don't know how I would go. Maybe you know what? I've always wondered, you know how they say you don't die right away if you get decapitated?
I do now.
They say your head lives for like an extra 5 or 8 seconds or whatever it is. You can still see out of it and shit. Because your brain is still there. It takes a few seconds before the lack of blood flow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the only people that know that to be true are the people who have been decapitated. Because there's no other way. Nobody's had their head sewn back on, right? Like that's impossible, right? There's no way that. Could you do it now? Do you think if somebody got to, like if they got the head right away, if they chopped it off, picked it back up, and sewed it back on immediately, is it possible?
I don't know.
I wonder if there's ever been a head transplant.
I was gonna say that. I know there's been like face transplants and like
Yeah.
limb transplants and stuff. I don't know if there's been a full head.
There's so many like nerves and like arteries, and you'd have to, it would be impossible to do it fast enough, right? But what I'm saying is maybe I'll choose decapitation just so I could be one of those people that knows for sure. And I'll be like on the ground being like, oh shit, I can still see. This is crazy. It is true. And then I die, you know?
Yep. And then you become the ornament on the front of my car.
Mm-hmm.
I just drive around with your head on the front of my RAV4, 2015 Toyota RAV4, 137,000 miles.
Not bad. Is it for sale?
Should be. Why did I just pitch it like that?
It sounded like you were selling it.
I keep going like this to push up my glasses. I'm not wearing fucking glasses.
Yeah,
I've
this
done it
is-
like 5 times. I keep reaching up doing it. It's like, what the fuck am I doing, dude?
Yeah, you usually have glasses on. You got the baby bear face there with the eyes. It's nice.
Yeah. Usually on the weekends I don't wear contacts because the extracurriculars I'm into, I don't want my eyes to get dry.
Yeah. Interesting. So you just can't see shit on the weekends?
Yeah. I mean, it's just I was talking with Rishi and he got LASIK not too long ago, and I've been debating on like if I wanted to do that because he said it was $4,500.
Not bad.
And I'm like, well, that's kind of expensive. But then in the back of my mind, it's like, dude, I spend like $700 a year on contacts.
Yeah. Or glasses even. Glasses aren't
Or
cheap.
glasses, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like that would pay off like
It'd pay for
within a
itself.
couple of years, and I would never have to wear contacts again.
That's the other thing too. It's like the convenience of having 20/20 vision again, and also not having to buy contacts or get your eyes dried out or wear glasses like a fucking nerd.
Well, he said it pays off every day because he's like, since 5th grade I wore contacts, and then all of a sudden now when I wake up I have 20/15 vision, and it's amazing.
It's crazy.
like
Yeah.
game changing.
Yeah.
Because the thing is when I wake up and I'm not wearing contacts and not wearing glasses, it's pretty blurry. Like I mean I can navigate through the day,
Right.
but even driving without my contacts is kind of sketchy, dude.
Really? See, I've always had 20/20. I mean, I'm sure at some point it's going to go. The only thing, my eyes are weird. So I have a floater issue. So I got these swarms of floaters in both my eyes. So whatever.
They look like little squigglies and worms and shit.
Yeah, dots and bugs but they're all over my field of vision for both eyes. And it's just my vitreous fluid, inside my eyeball. The only thing they could do is a vitrectomy. They suck all the fluid out of your eye and replace it with artificial fluid and then replaces itself over time. But there's like a small chance you go blind or have a retinal detachment. So it's not worth it. So they don't do it unless like it's absolutely necessary. And I have double vision. I have double vision in both my eyes because I have like an astigmatism.
I have that in my right eye.
Okay, so you see like the streaks, right? At night? Like if you look at the headlights
on
and
like
shit?
cars and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got that bad on both eyes. But other than that, if I go to like take a vision test at the eye doctor, I got perfect vision. You know what I mean? So not the best. I almost would rather have like 20/30 and not have all these fucking floaters because they can't do anything about it. It's annoying.
Yeah, because like if I were to turn around and just face at the green screen, I could like just see the floaters. Because the thing is, once I look up at them, they shift up because they're all just like in your eye.
Yes.
But
yeah. I have a big fucker right in the center of my vision too. Like if I look straight on, there's one big one like right here. So annoying.
Was that from like sitting too close to the TV as a kid or something?
I don't think so. I think that's where it happened to harden inside my eye, like the floater, because it's just a clump of vitreous fluid. Weird, but it's annoying, and every year it gets slightly worse. Yeah, it's just like
because like for me, it was all through school, all the way through up to college. I sat in the front row for like every class. Like that's just what I did, and then I got to college and like the first big lecture hall, I sat in the back, and he's like writing shit on the board. I'm like, dude, I can't see jack, dude, at all. Yeah. And I went and got an eye exam, and they're like, you ever like wear glasses before? I'm like, no. And they're like, yeah, you really should. But I was like, I had no idea, dude.
Yeah. I remember that.
It's the same thing with the astigmatism. I was in there getting an eye exam.
Yeah.
And the doctor's like looking at his clipboard and goes, you have an astigmatism? I'm like, I don't know what that is. And he tells me, and I'm like, all right, well, it's not like it's a bad thing, but it's not like you're going blind or nothing. Mm-hmm. But it's just one of my contacts costs more than the other one, like by $50.
Oh, interesting. That's weird.
Yeah.
They probably make them in the same place too, those greedy fucks.
Oh, yeah.
Anything to add more money to your bill, dude. It's such a scam. Fucking. That is one thing I will say. Healthcare in this country is fucked. Like it is so out of control. One Tylenol at the ER costs like $500. It's fucking. How can you justify that? How the fuck can you justify the math on that? Explain it to me.
Oh, okay. So now I'm going back a week. So last Sunday we were doing the pod, and I was doing a lot of this. I couldn't turn my head because my neck was fucked.
How's your neck?
Okay. Literally woke up Monday morning.
Yep.
Texted my boss, said, cannot move my head. Okay, I didn't say this, but like I was fucked. I was like, I can't. I hurt my neck over the weekend. Like, I need to take a sick day. I just need to rest up. She goes, all right, that's fine. And all day, I'm just like doing the same shit and it's not getting any better. And it gets to the afternoon and Emily goes, well, can I just bring you to the urgent care? Because what if it is bad?
Right.
And all I did, and I can do it now without hurting myself, but all I did was we were playing yard games and I would just whip my head around.
Yeah.
And just catch the football. That's all I did. And I did that for like 4 hours and it just caught up to me.
Right.
So we go to the convenient MD, which is 3 minutes down the road. I get in there at 2:38. The lady goes, oh, we're not accepting new patients.
2:38.
We're closing at 4. We're closing at 4. And I pull my phone out. I'm like, it's not even 3. I look over. There's one guy in the waiting room. There's no cars in the parking lot.
Huh.
And she's like, well, yeah, we're not taking new whatever. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's pretty stupid. So we start driving to Keene, which is a 20-minute drive. And then she's like, all right, well, let me call and see what the wait is looking like. And she puts it on speaker and yeah, no, just wondering what the wait time is for your ER or the convenient or whatever. And she's like, we're looking at about 2-3 hour wait. And I'm like, fuck that, we're going home. And I hang up on her. And I went to bed and I'm like, dude, if I'm like this fuck tomorrow, I can't go to work. And like I woke up and I'm just like, I told myself like I have to go. I can't milk it.
Yeah.
And luckily, dude, this is like the best luck I've ever had. The week before, they sent out an email to everybody at work saying like there's going to be a massage therapist
Oh shit.
on site from 12 to 3 on Tuesday.
Perfect
And
timing.
I signed up for like a half hour, like during my lunch break, and I signed up for it. So I showed up Tuesday and I'm talking to my boss and I'm like, just so you know, I'm not ignoring you. I like, and because I'm not looking at you, I literally can't turn my head.
Yeah.
I go to this massage dude. I told him, I'm like, I screw my neck up over the weekend, blah, blah, blah. For 20 of the 30 minutes, he did like all my head and my neck and my shoulders and shit.
Yeah.
I got up and I'm like,
Isn't that
oh
crazy?
my God.
Yeah.
You cured me, dude.
Yeah.
I was like so thankful. I'm like, dude, if I had my money on you, I'd give you a tip. But I was like, I already tipped him online. But I was like, dude, this is, because that's like the only thing that would have fixed it. If I had gone to the convenient MD, they would have just gave me muscle relaxers.
Probably, yeah.
And then I would like drive like fucked up going to work in the morning. It's like,
Yeah.
it worked out so well, dude. And he comes back in like another 2 weeks. So I'm going to like sign up for that again and just go through the whole thing. But man, I went from like, I'm fucked to I need help to help can't help me to the massage. And I was like, thank God, dude. Sorry, that was a long story.
No, it's cool. I'm glad you're feeling better.
That shaped my whole like week last week, dude. I was just like, I was so worried because my head just hurt so bad. So that was good.
Massages are underrated, dude. They can do a lot. I used to get them for my back. You know, it's been a while since I've had one, but dude, I paid for Lita's as a birthday gift. I got her like a membership or whatever. So she goes once a month now. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Chiropractors, I don't trust. I think that's a fucking scam. But I think massage therapists are legit for sure.
So I would argue the chiropractor thing because I shot a video for a chiropractor in Keene.
Oh,
and he was like, well, instead of paying you the last $100, can I give you like 3 chiropractic sessions? I'm like, yeah, I'll do whatever. And just by seeing him those 3 times, that's when I discovered that my right shoulder, I don't know, one of my shoulders is like an inch higher than the other one. Like my whole body wasn't balanced. Like he would like see like how tall I was and like one foot was taller or like one leg was longer than the other. And I went in there because my mobility with my shoulders is so poor. So he gave me stretches that I do every day that I'm in the gym.
Yep.
And I don't know, it worked out pretty well for the chiropractor stuff, but I don't know. You can have your own vendetta. You can be your own Batman.
I just think that there's probably some legit science behind it, sure. I just don't think, I mean, it's weird that they don't have to go to school to be a real doctor. You know, they just get a certificate. I mean, they have to go to school for like 2 years, but it's not like 8. But the other thing is when they tell you like that it's going to cure your flu-like symptoms and there's like this chakra and energy and we just have to like release it with that shit. I don't know, man. I don't know about that. I don't know if like manipulating people's spines is actually, people have strokes sometimes after seeing the chiropractor. I don't know. There might be some legit, I'm sure the stretching is good for you, you know, and there's probably a range of chiropractors. Some of them are probably legit, but I just think some of them aren't, you know? And if you look back at like when they started the practice of whatever we call it, chiropractoring, what is it? Chiropractic treatment? I don't know. There's a crazy backstory to it. Like the guy that invented it was like, thought he was possessed by a demon and then his son killed him and took over his It's this weird, wild story, man. But whatever. If it works for you, it works for you. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. The guy that I go to, or at least used to go to, is like pretty legit. But yeah,
Okay.
no, it's What about like you ever do like acupuncture? Emily was like, "Oh, my mom swears by acupuncture." I'm like, when the hell can I schedule that in the next 24 hours? You know?
That's another one. That's another one I don't buy. But like I said, if it works for you, I don't see. Listen, there's some legit Eastern medicine shit, sure, but just show me like a paper on how it works without using like vague terms like energy and you know what I mean? Like why
got a bunch of crystals sitting around the room and
yeah. You're gonna puncture me with needles to release tension but what is it? Like how does it work? Can you explain how it works? If you can't explain how it works, then you know what I mean?
How are you with needles? Like if you get your blood drawn or getting a shot, like can you look at the needle go in your arm? Are you fine with that?
I usually don't, just because whatever. I mean, I'm not terrified of them, but I'm not bad with them, you know?
Yeah, say every time I get my blood drawn, I always like look away from it or whatever.
Yeah, I just don't look.
I always say I'm a big baby to the person taking my blood because I am, but it's like
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how I do with acupuncture because like getting tattooed is kind of like getting jabbed with the needle, but it's very different, but
right, shallow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they jam a bunch of needles into your body. Yeah. Whatever, dude. Bring on the comments, creamers. Bring on the hate. I don't buy it. I don't believe in it. Suckers. What do you think about being 30 now? I'm thinking about getting my testosterone tested. I think I got low T. Am I too young to have low T? I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to just take it, dude.
Yeah.
Try Nugenics.
I want to, if I'm low at all, see, I want to maintain 25-year-old level of testosterone throughout my whole life. And if that's crazy, call me crazy, but I want to be fucking 55 years old with a sex drive and fucking be jacked. You know, and I will do TRT. I'll do fucking anabolic steroids if I need to. I've been considering it more and more. The older I get, I've been thinking about getting roided up, doing a cycle, you know, just getting fucking jacked. We should do that as like a joke. You and I should just start taking steroids and just get fucking shredded. And then we'll like watch a podcast 6 months from now. We'll both be like just fucking beefed the fuck up. And we'll just be talking shit like, woohoo! Just like, you know what I mean? That'd be a good gag.
So I've been total dog shit with going to the gym for the last 3 months by this point.
Oh, really?
Today I signed up for Planet Fitness and I went and I did a shoulder day. And that was like, I don't think I lifted once 2 weeks ago. And before that, I like lifted once a week. And I just like lost the drive to do it, dude. I don't know what happened.
It happens sometimes, man. You go through phases. But getting back at it, baby. I've been doing well because the whole sober thing, you know. What am I at? I'm on like day 17 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been getting my shit together. I never stopped going, but instead of going 3 or 4 times a week, I've been going like 5, you know, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Feel good. Feel fucking good. Feel strong. Yeah.
I remember back in the day, like 2018, 2019, when I was like really going to the gym like 6 days a week. Mm-hmm. I'd get there at 5:30 and I would stay there till they kick me out at 9. And I would do that like 5 days a week.
God damn.
Just lifting and running. And it was the most active I ever was, but I never had the body that like resembled how hard I was working.
Huh. You think that might be like lack of supplementation or diet or genetics, or what would you contribute that to?
Probably diet. That was probably part of it. Well, even my first safety job, I was driving around and I would have like a protein shake.
Yep.
I would have like 2 protein shakes for like the day, and then I'd go to the gym and I'd come home and I'd eat chicken and whatever. And so I was eating good, but I mean, even one of the meds that I'm on, like I when I graduated college, I was 220, and by the end of the year, I was like 305. Yeah, I like put on 85 pounds in like
crazy
7 months.
It's a crazy jump.
It's wild, dude.
Yeah.
I just like lost my shit, and I was just like, just like a freaking vacuum.
It's crazy what the meds can do to some people, man. That fucking blows.
That's like Bam Margera. It's the same thing. He says,
oh really?
He goes on these meds, and he gets fat as shit and he can't skateboard. Yeah, so then he gets more depressed and he stays on the meds because he can't skateboard. But he's like, if I'm off the meds, then I lose the weight and I can skateboard and I'm happy. Right. But like, it's not the way it works. But do you know anything about the Bam Margera thing?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I watched a whole like summary video that was like an hour-long video on the whole story and everything about how he got all fucked up and yeah.
It's so sad, man, because I mean, he grew up, it was like our era of MTV and MTV2 and Jackass and Viva La Bam. I fucking loved Viva La Bam back in the day.
Viva La Bam was the shit, yeah.
It's just wild, dude.
I always felt bad
so-
for his dad, dude. His dad didn't, like, just taking a shit. Poor guy. You know? Yeah, he was a real asshole.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the most insecure I've been about my body is I've been body shamed in the past. And that's because, remember?
Yeah.
Oh man, that guy was a character. I haven't talked to him in at least a decade. I don't even know where he's at these days. But, you know, he'd like.
I'm not even doing it. I'm not going to respect the name.
But he told me once in the locker room when we were in high school, because I'm very skinny, and in high school I was super skinny. I was a pencil neck, you know, but I did lift weights. I'm just skinny. If I don't lift weights, I'm a string bean. Like, I have to lift weights. And he told me I have concave titties. He said, "Where's your chest muscle? You got some concave titties." And ever since then, I'm self-conscious about my small pectoral muscles. You know? I still remember that. It had to have been 15 years ago. Still bothers me.
That's all right, man. At least you were playing. At least you were having fun doing it.
Yeah, my concave titties.
There was a kid on the football team. I don't remember who gave him the name, but they called him Ice Cream Titties. I remember the kid's name. I'm not going to shame him, but
you should. That guy's actually a piece of shit. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was fat, and I think he got into good shape now. But yeah, he had ice cream titties. And what is an ice cream titty? You know? Is it just like a reverse ice cream cone? Like you got the scoop on your tit, and then you come out to like long horse nipples.
we should, I'll remember to bleep this too. Can you say his name? Oh, nope. I was thinking of,
oh, no. I did AAU basketball with him, and man, he was just so fat and he just couldn't keep up, dude. Yeah. I mean, I sucked at basketball, but like at least I had like the conditioning to run for like more than an hour.
Yeah.
He was just fucked from the start, dude.
I'm pretty sure he molested somebody at a party.
It wasn't Luigi, right? No, that was somebody else.
Oh my God, Luigi. We're throwing in some. Nobody's gonna get the. This is getting deep and dark. Yeah.
Oh man,
a lot of references.
We're gonna have to censor this whole fucking thing.
Christ. So yeah, we were talking about Oppenheimer and Barbie, and I heard some pretty. Barbie had a great opening weekend, but I heard it's not very good. It's just the name, you know. It's got to be just the name. All these people on Twitter, which is now going to be called X. Did you hear about that?
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, Musk is changing it to just the letter X. So we'll see how that goes. But they're all like, "Oh, what happened to Go Woke, Go Broke? Barbie did 130 million." It's like, it's one example. It's a trash movie, but okay. But I heard it's a lot of weird shit in that movie. I guess it's PG-13. It's designed for kids, you know, like little girls. And Ken's on the beach, and he's like, "I'm gonna beat you off." All the Kens are talking about beaching each other off, like as a joke. It's like, what the fuck? But Indiana Jones fucking tanked. You surprised about that?
No, the dude's like 70 years old. Who wants to see him run around in fucking leather pants?
Indiana Jones 5. Big surprise. It's not doing well. Not doing well. And The Flash, like we all knew that was going to bomb. What the fuck is up with DC? Can they get it right ever? I feel like they just cannot do movies as good as Marvel. Like they have so much money in their budget. They can't figure it out.
Yeah. And then you have like the boys like taking over the world in like their own little universe.
Yeah.
I don't know who owns them, but man, that has really taken off.
Yeah, you watched The Boys? Did you watch those?
No, but I know it's taken off.
Oh, okay. I watched the first couple seasons and I lost interest, but it was good. The first couple seasons are tight. Yeah,
I know they put what's the main guy or whatever, Captain something?
He's like a Captain America, Superman type guy. I forget what his
whoever
name
that guy is. Yeah, he was
handsome fella.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Handsome guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blonde hair, blue eyes, American boy. Yeah, I'm not surprised Indiana Jones fucking... Remember that South Park about Indiana Jones where they rip him in the woods?
Yeah. George Lucas. Yeah.
Yeah. Squeal like a pig, boy. Yeah. real loud like this.
I want to go see Oppenheimer, but I feel like I would fall asleep, dude. I feel like it just wouldn't captivate me as much.
I heard it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough, man.
Well, Barbie will blow it out of the water, though, 100%.
Yeah, we'll have to see because I feel like it's not going to be a big repeat movie. I think people are going to lose interest after a couple of weeks, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we'll see. I mean, the name Barbie, obviously, is going to do well, but I don't know. Oppenheimer did well, too. It did like 90 million. It's still fucking good. Still really good. Plus, it's a Nolan film. Like, it's got to be good. What's his name?
Downey Jr.?
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is in it. You know, it's got to be good. It's got to be good. And it's an interesting story if you like history and, you know, nuclear bombs. It's got to be good. Dude, that movie theater we saw The Sound of Freedom in last night, too, the walls were so paper thin. I swear they were watching Oppenheimer next door. We got to like this quiet part in the movie. It was just like, we could hear the theater next door just like, like, what the fuck? This place sucks. Yeah. We're spoiled, man. The seats didn't recline. We're like, ugh, this sucks. You know, but whatever. I'll keep you updated. I'll probably see Oppenheimer in the next week or so. So maybe next week, I'll give a review. You know, a little breaking review.
I am become Cream, destroyer of worlds.
There you go. You heard it here first, folks. The news has been newsified. Thank you very much. And like always, everybody,
stay creamy.
I'm an ally.